Good evening or good afternoon, and welcome back to Games. I am Aaron. I am going to be your game master today as we return for the next episode of the Sins of Talagaad. If you haven't been watching the show, go back and take a look at previous episodes. Our troop of heroes managed to survive mostly intact through their grim portent. So today we're going to be pulling out the rules for downtime for the first time during this campaign. So a little bit about how that works is the player characters were awarded some experience points. Typically, you get one experience point per session. You can get a second if the session was particularly interesting or particularly dangerous, or they did something fairly amazing. For the Grim Portent, I gave everybody 5 experience points because I'm a lovely and generous game master. So we'll get into seeing how they spent their experience points. Then we'll move on to the event. So that's the second thing that happens in downtime. We'll roll an event that happens in Talagaad. It may involve the players. It may involve some of the players' contacts. It may inform the players on some potential activities or endeavors that they can do during downtime, or it could be a hint of an adventure to come. Then following that, we're going to go through and each of the players will get to go through their endeavors. There was 3, they all each get 3 endeavors. So we'll be going through 2 of them for each of the characters. They have decided behind the scenes to jointly deal with with retrieving the troll's bladder as one of their joint endeavors, and probably won't get to that today. That'll probably be next week. Because as you see, our other Dan is out today. I believe he'll be back next week. So we'll go through his endeavors during next week, and then we'll do our troll hunt. Now, this isn't actually in the mechanics of downtime, but the way we're going to start out today is we're going to start out with a scene for each of our characters that sort of sets the stage for the state of Talagaad and the state of these characters as a result of their grim portent, sort of to check in and see what has happened to them and how they perceive things. And from these, and I already told the players, but I'll tell everybody who might be watching at some point. As part of these scenes, they may have an opportunity to roll some dice, to do some skill checks. And if they decide to use that scene as one of their endeavors, I will allow it. For those who don't know, if your endeavor requires you to make a roll of some sort, that is how you potentially increase your skills. For every dice that fails that roll, you get a check mark against the skill that you rolled. And once you get check marks that exceed your current level in a skill, that skill goes up. We'll go into more detail on endeavors. I'll list them all out when we get to that point. But we're going to start out now with our first scene. So, camera pans. It's early evening, and we're somewhere on the cold side of Talagaad. The wind is fiercely blowing along the river, and there is a chill in the early evening air. We slide up to a standalone building, somewhat decrepit. I mean, there's obvious signs that people have tried to maintain it, but it's an older structure. And there is a sign swinging in the breeze, and it says Sorrow's Respite, an old tavern. A tavern that usually sees the seedier side of Talagaad. The door is open. There's smoke in the air and a haze. There's laughter. You see groups of people playing cards, throwing dice, drinking beer at the bar. A drunk is asleep at the floor. As we go in deeper, we see Erica sitting in a corner by herself, her back to the door, facing the back wall of the tavern. She seems to be muttering to herself. Erica, across from you is seated a shadowy figure. Does not appear to be cloaked, but you can't quite make out their face. Their voice is androgynous, perhaps a male, Perhaps a female? It's hard to tell. One of their arms is on the table, and their hand is sitting flat against it. The other seems misshapen in the shadows and drapes long beneath the table. But they are speaking to you in a tongue that's not quite Reichspiel, but you understand it anyway. My dear friend, we've been watching you. And we're so proud that you have stood for your people against the wealth and the entitlement of the nobles who would keep you down. We wanted to come and pay our respects to you.
Well, consider it done. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
I must say, in full truth, I also have an offer for you. You see, we watched and we saw in disgust is that nobleman whose life you saved. Did you not get the horses that allowed you and your companions to get to him and save him from the goblin? And yet he turned you out and put you in the stable? Was it not your actions in the crypt that saved everyone from that vampire? And yet, was there a parade in your name? Did they elevate you? Did the elves elevate you above your station? Did the nobleman cry out and take you in his arms as an equal? Did any of this happen?
No, and they always look down their nose at us, but they don't realize that they're only in power because people like us put them there.
That's right. And people like you can take them out of the power. The elves who meddle, always meddling in the empire, the nobles who think they are better than you, the nobles who spit on the commoner, the nobles who could easily kill you in the street and walk away, flashing their badge of office or their decree, their pedigreed paperwork, as if you were nothing. But we know you are not nothing. We know that you are a true hero of the people, yet to be born into this world.
You're right, I am. I care about the common people, and they shouldn't suffer under the boots of nobility.
That is so true. What if I told you that I could set you on the path, a road to greatness, where you will learn, though it will be hard, the trials will be difficult, but you will become powerful. You will learn the ways of a warrioress, and then you will be able to come back and throw down the hypocrisy of the ruling class. Crush the nobles beneath your feet, drive the elves out of the lands of the empire, and claim it for the commoners. Would that interest you?
I would say that I've never been afraid of a bit of hard work.
That's true. We've watched you. Well, here's the rub, Erica. You will have to travel and fight and travel and fight some more. But in the end, if you stay true and keep your cause in your heart, when you return, no one will stand against you. Outside of this tavern, right now, hitched in front, is a great black steed, its eyes the color of shadow, 8 legs beneath its body, allowing it to run so far and so fast. And if you walk out of this tavern when I am done speaking, and you climb into that saddle, and you ride north, you will find a broken down carriage not far from here. It's lost its wheel, and within it is a fat bailiff, a tax collector who's been bleeding the villages dry of their gold, so that the poor suffer and starve while the rich become richer. Ride to this carriage slay this bailiff, drench the gold that he has in his blood, and then carry it with you north. And in each village, drop these bloody coins as you go, so that the commoner may know that nothing stands in their way, that no noble's blood can bleed them dry. Continue north, and you will find your destiny. When that bag of gold is empty, you will be where you are supposed to be to begin your journey. If this is something that interests you, do not say a word. Simply stand and walk to that mount and claim your destiny. What does Erica do?
He stands up, walks out of the bar, climbs into the saddle, and rides off into the distance.
We see as Erica moves out of the bar that several of the patrons within the Sorrow's Respite have been staring at her because for the last 5 minutes, she's been speaking to nothing and no one. At least nothing and no one that they can see. The following morning, the guards will swear that a shadowy mount rode out the north gate sometime in the night, but they can't quite place it. All they remember is a pale face and laughter. The camera changes perspective. It's maybe been a day or 2 days since that night at the Sorrow's Respite. And we find Snake walking down the stairs from the tavern and into his fighting ring. Snake, when you get to the bottom of the stairs, the place is packed. You have never seen this many people ringside before. And you can hear them chanting, Snake, Snake, Snake. You see your fight promoter kind of pushing his way through the crowd and coming towards you. Oi, Snake.
Good evening. A good crowd in this evening.
Oh, we've got something special.
Oh?
A professional pit fighter up from Nuln says he's come here to challenge you personally. He says, let me fight this snake that you have in this pit. He says that if you get in the ring with him, he'll put silver in it just for you to stand in the ring. Mechanically speaking, he's offering you 3 silver to get in the ring. And he says, if you win, there's gold in it for you. You hear the crowd all around you. The crowd is hushing because, I mean, even some of them are slumming noblemen and perhaps who may be comfortable with gold. But most of the people in here have never even seen or held a silver piece, let alone a gold. What do you want me to tell them, Snake?
Well, who am I to disappoint my audience? And I will sort of start to showboat a bit to the audience, basically.
Yeah. And they're all like, Snake, Snake. Nobody can stop our hero, Snake. The crowd starts to part, and you see a massive dwarf with his back to the ring. The tallest dwarf you've ever seen. He's 5 feet tall and at least 5 feet broad. He's got bald, his pate is completely bald, and the left side of his face is heavily scarred. He's got a tight black beard, braided down and capped, and he is wearing a great coat over what looks like a boiled leather cuirass, and fine clothes. I mean, looking at him and being just a basic judge as an entertainer of wealth, he is wearing more in wealth than it would cost for you to buy this tavern twice over.
Right.
He looks up. Oi, you Snake.
Certainly am. And who are you?
Well, I'm Rascal Ironwolf from Nuln, professional pit fighter. And I've been told that you're someone who could take a punch.
Yeah, well, or even evade a punch. So when do you want to do it?
Well, I'm here right now, aren't I? He pulls out a large bag of silver and he goes, "This is just for you getting in the ring. No weapons, no armor. We go at it, bare chested, fist and feet."
You got it. I'm in.
And then he hands the bag of silver over to your fight promoter and he hands another bag. He goes, "That's gold. Anyone touch that gold or my belongings before I get out of this ring. And I am going to beat everyone in here. Well, we'll just see." And he yanks this huge battle axe off of his back and puts it down as well. And then he strips off this great coat, folds it neatly, pulls off his boiled leather cuirass, strips his shirt off, pulls his boots off, gets in the ring.
Okay. I shall
Cracking these knuckles on hands, on fists the size of hams. You could see he's like, his entire torso is heavily scarred. You can see old fading bruises on it. Cracks his neck.
I'm going to check that Olina's in the audience somewhere.
She looks at you and she goes, and the look on her face is a little terrified for you. So way we're going to do this is it's going to be standard fist fight. So you can stagger somebody, but you don't do damage. But if they're already staggered and you go to stagger them again, the options are to take a wound or to fall prone, because you can't fall back in this ring.
Okay. Will my acrobatics allow me to give ground in this ring?
Too small of an area. So you can't give ground, but you can go prone to avoid an injury. So
it's prone or injury. Yeah,
prone or injury. Now for everyone, all players included, all of your fate points have already reset. Okay. But if you spend a fate point during downtime, it stays spent until the start of your next adventure. In other words, if you spend fate today, you may not have any fate to spend on your troll fight. Keep that in mind. So it's not going to reset next session. This is your fate for this downtime. And I know this is not exactly how the mechanics work, but we're playing a little fast and blending a little adventure and a little bit of downtime here. So I just wanted to make sure you understood, Stu, before you get in this fight, what your options are.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good.
He's in there. He's rolling his shoulders. He's like, "All right, come on, you pointed eared git."
Okay. And I will use my lightning reflexes to take the first move.
All right.
And I'm going to wrestle him to the ground, basically.
Okay. So give me a brawn check, and it will be resisted by his athletics.
Have I spent my
Yes, your XP has already been spent.
Right.
So
okay.
And we'll go into the XP spend after the scenes, but yes, you are already at your elevated level.
Oh, it couldn't be much worse, could it? Right, I've got one success.
All right, let's see. He gets 2 successes. So you go to grapple him, and he just sort of shifts his body weight. You've never seen a dwarf move this fast. He kind of ducks under your arms and pivots, and then you see this right cross coming at your kidneys, which of course you can attempt to evade as well. And you see his eyes are like wide and bloodshot now. He's almost foaming at the mouth at the idea of beating the crap out of a dwarf. All right.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Oh, dearie me. It's gone badly. That's a fact.
He gets 4 successes. So what's your resilience? What's your toughness?
It's 3. It's 3.
Okay, so first off, since your first attack failed and you're in close combat, you are automatically staggered when you fail an attack in close combat. So you are already staggered at this point. So he comes across and he hits you in the kidneys. So you take a wound. Now, the way we're going to do this is you're still on your feet until you take your first wound that would require a night's respite.
Got you. Okay.
So, Dan, do me a favor, pull up the wound chart. Snake, roll a d10 and let's see
Let's
what
see what
wound you
happens.
get.
Oh no!
Nine.
It's just one roll after another, isn't it?
You're not doing great at the moment. My computer's just gone a bit slow. So you got leg spasm. A crash against your leg or pelvis sweeps you clean off your feet. You suffer the prone condition. You can remove this condition by using your free move or recover action. Until this wound is treated, all movement counts as difficult terrain.
And what's the heal time on it?
And the heal time on it is a night's respite.
Okay, so what happens is
He's knocked me
Snake,
out. One punch.
Snake, you come to grab him and he pivots and he comes in with the right cross and hits you so hard in the kidneys that you lose your breath. You fall to the ground, semi-conscious. You're fairly certain that you'll be pissing blood for a few days. And then he just looks down and he goes, right. And he's talking relatively quietly. So just sort of, you can hear, because the whole crowd is like, oh, whoa, ah. He goes, right. I was paid to come up here to give you a proper beating and to leave a message. Now, I might have done it for free if they told me it was just a pointy you get. I like to think of this as a reenactment of the war between our races. So remember, the next time you come for somebody's beard, we're going to send you packing back to your forest, you pointy you get. He gives you a slight kick in the ribs. You're pretty much out of it. So you heard what he said, but you're seeing triple. You're kind of vomiting on the ground and you're having a hard time standing. And then he drops a heavy parchment envelope down next to your face.
Right.
You could see a large black wax seal sealing it. And then you just hear, as you kind of fade in and out of consciousness, the sound of his heavy feet as he walks out of the ring, laughing the entire way. Wake, willed elves. Hey, you want to see what a real pit fighter is? Snake. Come up to Nuln, and I'll show you. Because clearly you need some training.
Do you know what? I'm just gonna raise my arm because that's probably all I can manage, as if to say, yes, I'll be there.
Now, I did not ask before, so I'm going to ask now. Snake, Stu, do you want this to be one of your endeavors? If so, your first endeavor, you would take all of the failures on your first roll, and count those against your brawn to see if your brawn could be.
Now, if I was to do that, then that would make it 4 boxes, I believe.
Yes. Yep. What's your current brawn?
It's 3.
So you would, if you do that, your brawn would go up to 4.
I get you. It's worth it then, isn't it?
Okay,
It's worth taking the beating.
Absolutely. So I think what you learned actually from this is you learned a little bit about technique, about grappling, and you learned the importance of staying centered, because as you went to grapple him, you were staggered you came off of your stance and got a little staggered. And that's why he was able to put you down with one punch. So that's your first endeavor gone, but it does increase your brawn to 4. So
perfect.
Nicely done. We pull out of that scene as Snake is getting administered to, and we hear, as we're pulling out, a woman's voice. Oh, Snake, dear, you got to learn to pick your fights better. I can put this poultice on your kidneys. You'll definitely be pissing blood for a few days, but I think take it easy tonight. Drink broth, no solid foods. Go to bed early. You'll feel better in the morning. But hey, don't forget, you only have a few days left to get me that troll bladder.
I think there's a possibility I might have to marry Olenor, isn't there?
There it could be. That could be a possibility. She's definitely keeping you alive.
Yeah.
So as we fade out of that, the whispers get quieter. We scan past the Elven embassy, and we see Azarin walking in for a meeting with the ambassador, Esquila Sareth. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that next week so we can give Ez some time to prepare for that meeting. Our camera continues on, and we leave Talagaad altogether. We go north up the road, not too far, but we go to the city of Taliban. We go into a rich district. We see marbled homes, small palaces, great mansions. And we see one with a Führerbach coat of arms on it at the gate. And we go through that gate and into this great house, past the portraits of all the great Führerbachs and the statues, down a wood-paneled corridor. And we find Erwin standing outside of a closed door with two guards wearing the Führerbach coat of arms across their surcoats. There's a grumbling voice to be heard from inside, and then one guard reaches over and opens the door. Oh, my lord Erwin, you'll be seen now by Count Voldemar.
I nod and walk in.
As you go in, you see a well-appointed study, a very large wooden desk, bookshelves, a map of the old world. And sitting behind the desk, you recognize a man that you've spent your youth calling uncle. But in fact, you're a little farther removed from him in the lineage. You see the leader of your family, Count Voldemar Führerbach. To his left, you see a scribe who's taking notes down, perhaps on a discussion that they just finished. And to your left, you see his manservant standing there. As you approach the desk, his head is down. He's raking some notes himself, and he looks up. Ah, Erwin. Have a seat, boy.
Thank you, Uncle, and I'll sit down.
I'm going to be honest with you, Erwin. I've always thought of you as a layabout, a wastrel, basically useless. However, I might have been mistaken. I mean, originally, I thought the only good I was going to get out of you was your seed, as I married you off to some merchant's family or some lesser noble somewhere else. But perhaps I was wrong. You see, tell me about your relationship with Ambassador Sareth.
Ah, the elf. Yes, we'd get on rather well. Shared a bottle of wine. You know, generally friendly.
That's what I had heard, and I assumed that she was just pumping you for information, using you as a unintended spy, basically a dim-witted noble that she could manipulate. But now I think perhaps otherwise. I've received an interesting business proposal from the ambassador. It appears that they are going to begin to import fine elvish wines and other delicacies and expensive baubles into the region. And she has approached me asking if the Führerbach family would like to be our factors in this, to manage it for the empire, to assist in the distribution, to ensure that the elven goods get into the right hands. Now, I know, and we all know in this room, that that would be an incredible feather in the cap of our mercantile interests. I assume that you recognize that as well. Am I right, Erwin?
Of course, the implications of the profits would be staggering.
Exactly. And you know, this is why I was quite shocked, because although we are a great family, my relationship with the ambassador is, well, at best cordial. But she asked for you by name to manage the Feuerbach's family's interests in this endeavor. In fact, she was quite insistent that she felt that you were more than up to the task. Are you more than up to the task, Erwin?
Yes, it would be my honor to do this for the family.
You understand that if you fail this, I will see you ruined and you will lose everything. I will have you in the street as a pauper knight.
Of course.
Absolutely wonderful. I'm glad to see that we're of an accord. Now, she said it will take a few weeks to get everything set up, and she has requested that you set aside an office and apartments for a liaison officer that she will assign from the embassy. This elf will be living at your estate, will be working hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder with you, day in, day out. You don't have an issue with elves, do you?
No.
His name is, this is hard for me to, Azezarin, I think is how it's pronounced.
Ah, yes, the Sea Guard.
So you're familiar with him already.
Yes, I've met him.
So perhaps you are a little cannier than I thought. Well then, from a business perspective, you have surprised me, Erwin. And I'm not used to being surprised. And that is a good thing. Now, to the second matter, and equally unexpected, because I'm given to understand that you spend most of your time swilling in shit taverns and purchasing cheap whores. But not once, but twice in a single week, I've received a missive about you. And this one is from the Contessa Antoinette Ludmastad, a minor Tillian noble. Her family is minor, but her wealth and social influence is great. And once again, this missive is a request for you to attend an exclusive gallery opening for one of the artists that she patronizes in Talagaad. Of course, you will accept this, and you will make overtures with the Contessa to try to enhance our relationship with her. She may even be one of the matches we consider making for you, because although she's a minor Tillian noble, her wealth is nothing to be sneered at. So make sure that you put your correct foot forward in your conversations. The gallery opening is 1 week from today at 9 o'clock at night, an evening showing. Be there, be properly dressed, and I recommend that you spend some time looking into the type of art that she provides so that you can actually speak a few intelligent sentences to her while you are there.
I'll do my best, Uncle.
Excellent. Well, Erwin, nephew, several times removed, if you accomplish these two tasks, I see great things in your future. He stands. You've never seen your uncle stand for you since you've been an adult. And he puts out his right hand for you to shake.
Shake it firmly.
If you fail in either one of these endeavors, Erwin, you should simply run. But I have all the faith that Tall and Ulrich grant me that you will succeed.
Oh, I'll do my best.
Now, get out of my office and get back to Talagaad. Receive this elf and begin to set up the business venture. I want to hear progress reports from you on a weekly basis.
I nod and leave.
Okay. And so we pull back from that scene. And now, as our wayward group have flung themselves across the city of Talagaad, we will see what sort of event is taking place in the city around them. So I would like Snake, since he got so horribly beaten, to roll a D100. Let's see what kind of event we're dealing with in the city of Talagaad these days.
20.
So, Erwin, as you're coming back, you actually see outside of the gates, the guards stop you. And you see another Ashalian priestess there, and then a man dressed with a plague mask on. State your business in returning and coming to Talagaad, sir.
I live here.
Well, forgive me, sir. You should be aware that the Packers pox is moving through the city. Many are too sick to move, to work. Those who aren't are locking themselves away. If you begin to develop boils upon your flesh, seek out a Shalian temple if you have the coin, or hang a sign upon your exit, upon your door, and one of the plague doctors will visit you. Do you have any questions?
How long has this been around?
We are a couple of days into it, and we're trying to ensure that it does not spread. So take care and try to limit the amount of contact you have with others.
Very well.
And as you make your way back to your estate, the streets are deadly quiet. You see very few people moving, and those who are moving have scarves wrapped around their faces. Erica has left the city by this point, but someone else has entered the city during this time of plague. And we find ourselves in a forge. The heat is oppressive, and the clanging of the hammer can be heard. This is a forge you would have recognized, Erwin, if you were here. It's the forge of Tordy, Tort's daughter, the greatest dwarf smith in Talagaad. She hears her door open and, having concerns for the plague, lays her hammer down and looks back over her shoulder. Dan, who does she see?
Well, she sees a very, very large man, probably around 6'6" tall, so very, very tall, very broad. Probably not quite 6 foot broad as the dwarf was earlier, but very broad. Old-looking features, probably sort of mid to late 50s. Weathered skin, almost like leather. So, probably from being on cold steeps most of his life. He has a long sort of moppish white hair, and despite his hair being fairly unkempt and white, his beard is well tended for, and his long white beard with 2 big plaits running down it. And over him is a large bear fur. And they said, everybody, we get to meet Boris the bear.
So Tordy glances over her shoulder. Oh, Boris, I did not know you were back in town. Give me a moment to bank the forge and finish what I'm working on. Pour us some of that hot spiced rum I've got there, and have a seat. I'll be with you in a moment.
And he kind of makes his way in, but you kind of get the sense that he has to kind of maneuver through the door a little bit. It's not just a case of just walking through the door. He's a big, big man, and he kind of just makes his way over to the mugs, looks at the mugs and thinks one of them looks a bit small, but pours it out nonetheless. And then sits down with quite a thud. He has to look around for it, and he doesn't sit on a chair because chairs probably wouldn't hold him. So he sits on like a proper workbench, and he just sits there and watches Tordy work.
And a few moments later, she comes back around the corner. She's got she's wiping her hands on her apron. She's mopping the sweat from her face. She sits down across from you without any ceremony and picks up her mug and drains it in one pull. And then she looks at you. Boris, I'm so grateful for you for coming. I did not know if my message would get to you, but I need your aid. And if you are able to help, this will count as a great favor for me and for my clan. You see, days ago, Two of my clansmen, well, a clansman and a clanswoman from Clan Gritlock, well, they were murdered. At first, we thought they'd simply run off. We hadn't even begun searching for them when the ghost of that wee lass came to me. She was on her way to be with the ancestors, but she told me a tale that I would tell you now. They had been taken by a necromancer.
He spits on the floor.
Indeed. And murdered as part of a ritual and bound to an evil book. She thought her soul would be lost, and she railed against it, begging for the ancestors to intercede. Perhaps they did. For although she and her clansmate and two halflings died, two humans and two elves were able to escape. And the ghost of my clansmen people were bound to them. And so she saw what they did. Against all odds, they stole back this book from an ancient evil, and they made it to the gardens of Moor. And the priests there freed my clansman and clanswoman and crushed the ritual and took the book. But this wee lass, she asked of me to protect these elves and these humans because they sacrificed so much to save her soul. This is why I have called you, because she described the creature that held the book, and it chased them to the gardens of Moor. I think you ought know this description. A foul undead beast with rancid breath, no hair upon its body, craggy disformed features, eyes the color of blood, long bat-like ears, a maw full of sharp dagger-like teeth, and fingers with too many joints. In short, a vampire. And it bears striking resemblance to the vampire you hunt. I cannot say for sure if it is the one, but I thought to myself, Boris is hunting this vampire. How much easier would it be for Boris if the vampire came to him while it hunted others? So I would ask you, Boris, will you discharge my clanswoman last request and see to the safety of these humans and elves? And perhaps be able to fulfill your own quest?
By Urson's breath, I have already sworn to slay this vampire. If it means I get to vampire by assisting these humans and elves, I will do it.
Excellent. This is what I know of them. There is a wood elf who is a pit fighter. She gives you the address to his ring in the tavern. There is a high elf who is a sea guard and works out of the embassy. A human woman, very intelligent, Lucient fighter, I believe a bandit, goes by the name of Erica, and she rides with the green men out of town. And then the last is a nobleman, Erwin Feuerbach. I have worked commissions for him in the past. In fact, I made a very nice shield for him. So I know where he is as well. So she gives you the addresses to those people that she knows. I would, if you can seek one of them out, perhaps you may be able to help them.
I will seek the pit fighter. That could be amusing.
Beware of the plague is in town right now, so cover your face and be of care.
Dodi, worry not. I am Urson's chosen.
Me, of course, I do not know where my mind was. I look forward for you coming back by my shop. I owe you now a great favor. Do not fail to collect, because you know I do not like owing people.
Toddy, if you have led me to vampire, we are even.
No, it is not so. I owe you a favor. That is only partial repayment. You will come back and you will tell me how I can make it right.
Fair enough. I must now go find this wood elf and his friends.
So we fade out of that and we find ourselves back in the tavern that Snake frequents with his fighting pit beneath it. It's locked up at the moment. There's no one in this tavern except for Snake, his fight promoter, and the tavern keeper. And Snake, you have this wax sealed envelope in your hands. This is the first day where you feel like yourself enough to even sort of remember that you have this message. It's been a couple of days since the fight.
Well, I'll get the tavern keeper is Johnny Nine Toes, little halfling chap who's obviously ran into the wrong people one day and not quite got away with it. So I'll get him to get us a whiskey,
Okay.
and I'll have
Pours
a look
around
at this
out for all
envelope.
of you.
Can I work out where it's from? Is there anything on the seal?
No, the seal is just a black wax. No, nothing imprinted in it, just a blob of wax.
Right. I will carefully crack it open.
You crack it open, you pull out a sheet of heavy parchment. And it is in Elvish.
Mm.
But the penmanship is terrible. It's a spider-like scrawl across the page. And as you start to read it, you realize that although it's written in Elvish, whoever wrote it is not an elf, because some of their grammatic choices just are not right. It still makes sense, but definitely not written by an elf. But what it says is, you and your friends stood against me. You forced me to disappoint my master. You have put me in a very difficult situation. But I have felt your blood. I have tasted it off of my claws. I know you, and I know where you are. And I will come for you soon, and you will pay the price for interfering with my master's plans. And as you read that last line, the script begins to bulge and almost bubble off of the page. And out of these ink blobs erupts a swarm of biting flies.
Yeah.
They fly and bite and spread out through the end, looking for ways out. And as you glance back down at the parchment, swatting away at these, it's simply a blank piece of paper. But you recall what it said.
I will chuck the parchment in the fire in case there are any other terrible things, and I'm going to stoke the fire. Plus, I'm going to find a stool, and I'm going to break the stool and create some stakes with my dagger.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tuck them into my belt, basically.
Okay.
Apologizing to Johnny Nine Toes for ruining his stool, but
He goes, "Oi, you owe me for that. You got 3 silver off that elf. You owe me at least 2 brass for that stool."
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do a special fight where I take no fees, and you can take the takings. How about that, Johnny?
As long as I make more than 5 brass, we'll call it even.
You're a hard man.
Well, you don't get to be 9 toes without being a hard man.
Yes, indeed. Oh, this just gets better and better, doesn't it? And I'll sort of, when you've got sore kidneys, how you sort of bend back against them and put your hand to it, in fact, what I'll do is I'll take some embers out of the fire, wrap them in a tea cloth or whatever else is on the around, so a rag, and then put them to the back of my kidney to try and relieve some of the pain.
I like it. I like it. So now that we've had all of our scenes, we are going to, and we've introduced our event, which is the pox running through the city. So that may be something that concerns you during your endeavors, or it may be something that concerns you during our next adventure. But it doesn't directly relate to any of you at the moment. We're going to go into endeavors. Now, before I ask you which endeavors you want, I'm going to explain a little bit about what the endeavor choices are. So, and as I said, you've got 3, but you guys are all using one endeavor to hunt the troll. And that endeavor falls under the aid contact endeavor. So when one of your contacts asks you to do something for them, which is what we saw, you can aid them as one of your endeavors. The second one is potentially of interest to Snake, is bank money. You bank some of your money with, not necessarily a super reputable bank, but a bank of sorts, so that you actually can save some money over time. You might want to do this if you're looking to buy, a nicer trapping or an asset or something of that nature. Because remember, at the end of downtime, all you have is what your level of your status level is left. So for Snake, you've got 3 silver right now. At the end of downtime, you're just going to have 3 brass, unless you do something with some of that silver.
It sort of assumes that I'm going to spend that money.
Yeah,
doing whatever.
Exactly. And of course, Erwin will have 3 gold, and Boris will have 3 silver, and Ez will also have 3 silver. So you're the only bronze level left, Stake. But you could attempt to bank money, and that's a charm test. Anybody who wanted to start down the path of changing careers, that's an endeavor you can explore, but there's multiple steps to that. You could craft a trapping, like if you have a crafting lore of some sort, you could use an endeavor, either using dexterity or toil, to craft a specific trapping that you might like. If any of you were casters, you could formalize a spell. You could gather information. So like, you've got a troll problem, you've got a vampire problem, you've got potentially a plague problem. So you could spend one of your endeavors to try to gather information. So you would make a skill check, whether it's recall, awareness, leadership, whatever works, and try to get some more information. Now remember, anytime you make a skill check during an endeavor, your failures count towards improving that particular skill. You could help an ally on any upcoming test. You could invest money. So this is different than banking. This is like you're gambling or you're investing in something. And basically you're gambling money in hopes of getting something back in return, like an improved asset or a new asset or a trapping greater than you would normally be able to have at your current status level. So this is another option that Snake could potentially take with his money. You could lay low if you're being hunted by somebody, and those are generally a stealth or awareness check. If anybody was a caster, you could memorize a spell. You could do a prolonged labor. So like if you were if you were a thief and you wanted to pickpocket a whole bunch of people to have some extra cash, that would be a labor that you could go through. If you were a slayer, you might be survival as a labor to try to track down some monster worth fighting. If none of the endeavors have skills associated with a skill you want to work on, you can just practice a specific skill. And then if you had actually spent fate, burned fate that is, instead of just spending it, you could try to recover burnt fate. If you had an injury that was going to lay you up for more than a night, to heal that wound, you could rest and recover. You could study lore. So if there's a lore that you want to learn that you don't have, you could study that lore in an attempt to earn that lore, like anatomy. Like as a pit fighter, you might decide, you know what? I can't rely on somebody else to heal me all the time. Maybe I should learn some anatomy, something along those lines. You could just test might when you're going out, just doing strength tests of some sort, whatever they might be. Or you could wander the wilds and test your survival skills, which might be something that Erwin might be interested in at some point as a devotee of Tal. So those are the possible endeavors. We're going to start with Erwin. You have 2 endeavors other than the troll hunt. What would you like to do? Now, some of these endeavors are just going to be a simple discussion and skill check. Some of them might be small scenes. I'll decide that based on whatever endeavor you're trying to do.
Okay. So does the wine thing count as an endeavor?
The which thing?
The wine thing that I was asked
No,
to do.
no. That's
Okay.
That's just a future state. So that's.
Okay.
I mean, you could say, you know what, I want to invest in that wine business, and then you could do an invest endeavor.
I'd have to wait until this is over to get some money. I've spent all mine.
Yeah. Okay. Or you could like do lore, like like I want to know about being a vintner or a businessman, accounting or any of those kinds of academic lores that would make sense.
What about the art one?
The art
dealing with the Tillian lady.
Once again, I mean, you could use the learn a lore or gather information. Like if you wanted to learn something about the Contessa,
there's lore arts.
Yes, or you could learn the lore arts or try to learn the lore arts to get that lore. None of these are required. I mean, you can just go in without any additional prep that you want. So don't feel compelled to build your endeavor around one of these scenes. It just offers you an opportunity to if you'd like to.
Okay. Well, I mean, the first one I want to do is seek out a priest of Tal.
Okay. That's not hard to find.
Because I want to basically thank Tal for keeping me safe from those goblins.
So there are several shrines to Tal in and around Talagaad. The one you normally go to is relatively close to your estates, in the woods outside of your estates. It's actually a small temple, not just a shrine.
Yeah, I'll go to that one.
As you approach, you see the priest there, tending to some of the animals in the area. He looks up. My son, what brings you to Tal's bounty today?
So I'll formally bow, and I wish to offer my thanks to Tal. He has watched over me. I could feel his strength keeping me alive during a very trying time. I wish to offer my service to Tal.
Oh. You see this priest lays a hand on your head for a moment, and he mutters a prayer to Tal. Ah, yes, I can see that you are indeed favored of Tal. There are always services that can be done to strengthen Tal and to strengthen his worship in the area. It is good that you have come. And I believe that there is some way that you could help and perhaps gain greater glory in Tal's name, if it would be of interest to you.
Certainly, how can I be of assistance?
It would first require you to scout some of the woods, but the Bray herd has grown more troublesome in the deep woods. And I would have someone scout for us their movement. We have a shrine deep in the woods that I fear they're moving towards. With Tal's blessing, if you can find what they are doing and report back to me, and if they are moving towards that shrine, then perhaps Tal would call you to find a way to defend it or to push them in another direction. But first, you must track the herd.
Do you know roughly where?
Oh, yes. And he, once again, he kind of cups your head in his hands, and you feel the forest around you as he mutters. And you feel almost like you know your own body. You can feel this cancerous blight moving through the forest. And this is southeast of Gunrick, and heading at a slight northeast angle. So if you made your way down to Gunrick and then you entered into the forest on the east side of the road, you would be just north of where you feel this cancerous blight, and you'd be able to potentially determine where they are headed. If you go now, you may be able to discern if the shrine is at risk.
I'll leave at once.
So I think what we're going to do is this is going to be a wander the wilds endeavor. So you're immersing yourself in the wilderness, gathering supplies and useful information. You already have wilderness lore, so you're going to get +1 dice to this roll. So it is a survival check.
You don't. And I'm assuming I get my glorious because of.
Yes. But you may not want to take it here. It's up to you. Because your failures count towards improving your skill.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so
Okay. Well, I think 2 successes should hopefully be enough.
Yeah. So mark 2 ticks next to your survival to represent that it's potentially improving. What is your current survival?
My survival is currently 2.
Okay, so if during another endeavor, either during this downtime or another downtime, as long as you get 1 more tick in that, then your survival would go up to 3.
Okay.
But yes, with 2 successes, you make your way down there. It takes you it takes you some time. You're out of Talagaad for a couple of days, but you are able to track a splinter of the Bray herd. This is not the main herd. You think they're probably been sent out to forage or to find things to draw the main herd towards it. And they are indeed slowly making their way towards the shrine in the forest. You believe at the pace they're going, you probably have a few weeks before they get there if they stay on their current path, but the shrine is at risk.
Would I have any idea of the numbers?
Yeah, based on what you're seeing, it's a small like I say splinter herd. You didn't actually see them, but based on the tracks, you would guess they're 5 or 6 strong. Ungors, maybe some gores, possibly something else as well, but not a large group. And they're spreading out. They're falling back along their own trail. They're splitting up. I mean, they're taking a great deal of time as they scour the area for forage and possibly other areas of interest. So they're not moving quickly.
Okay, yeah, I'll head straight back and report it to the priest.
You have done well, my son. And Tal will call upon you to ensure they never find the shrine. Do you accept this charge?
I do.
And Tal's blessing upon you. I will know when the shrine is safe, and I will know that you have fulfilled this bargain with Tal. May the wilderness always shelter you.
Thank you, Father.
So you mark those 2 ticks off against survival, and you know that you've got a problem with some beastmen heading towards a shrine of Tal. Now, Snake, you've got 1 endeavor left since you took your first endeavor in the ring. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm thinking obviously that first endeavor changed my thoughts slightly, potentially what I was going to do, possibly. So I think I've got 3 possibilities here. One is to invest the silver in either the Dog and Duck with Johnny Nine Toes, or possibly invest in Olina's apothecary, potentially. Spend some time learning anatomy. Quite clearly a necessary skill, I think. And maybe I could spend some of the silver to improve my chances, or buy some books on it, or whatever else would need to be done.
Yeah, I
hmm?
could see that. I would give you a +1 dice if you spent your silver
Silver on
on some
doing that.
anatomy texts.
Okay.
And possibly tutoring, like you know,
Yes, exactly.
pay
Spend it
Alina.
on tutoring. Yeah. And the last one is creating a secret hideout in Irwin's woodland estate. So, and spending the silver on stocking it, building it, hiding it.
Yeah, so that would also be invest money, but that would be a dexterity check where you're basically sneaking supplies into an area and creating
or woodcraft,
this.
possibly, for setting it up.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I could see woodcraft as well. And what that would do is give you another brass level hideout.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? I think I'm going to go for the anatomy option. I think
Good.
Snake's going to hit the books.
All right.
Is literate, and he is actually quite intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, let's do that then. So I'm going to spend the silver on a tutor, and books. I'll buy a couple of books as well, because they're bound to be expensive, aren't they? So
the way this works is learning a new lore is an exacting test. Right. So you may not fully learn it this time, but you might. So what it requires is 4 successes. Okay. So you'll be rolling recall, and you get +1 die, like I said, for the tutoring and the books that you use your silver on. So roll a recall test
with an extra dice. Oh my God. We're back to that again.
Now you can spend your 1 fate point during downtime to make that test glorious and re-roll your failures if you want.
You could have also just passed your recall to increase your recall skill. Given you've got 4 failures, what's your recall score?
2.
So you could definitely improve.
Yeah, this is true as well. But do you know what? It means I wouldn't have the fate point for the trolls, wouldn't it?
That is true.
He's trying to kill you, Snake. Don't listen to the GM. He's trying to kill you.
I mean, you are pissing blood at the moment, but you know what? I love you.
Come on, we've got to go for it. It's the only time I'm going to have to be able to spend the silver, isn't it? So, you know, I think.
I mean, you've spent the silver already, so you're either just going to improve your recall, or you're going to make it glorious and possibly.
Oh, look at that! That's
3 successes. So you need 1 more success on your anatomy lore check. So on your character sheet, write anatomy and lore 3 out of 4 checks. So the next time you have an available endeavor, you can roll it, and then you will learn the anatomy lore. So you're probably working with this tutor for several weeks. Like you're going to come back several times as they train you and teach you. I mean, anatomy is not simple. So, but you are making great progress because Snake is a very intelligent individual. So your silver has been well spent, and you have a tutor who is teaching you anatomy.
And I was going to say, do the failures still count against the recall?
Yeah, they do.
Cool.
So your recall will. So you got 4 failures. No,
2 failures.
2 failures. So not quite. 1 more failure on your recall, and your recall will go up.
So I think that was worth the fate point. Although I'll probably next week when we face the troll, I may well regret that.
you might end up like your dwarf troll slayer Lefty with the entire half of your body burnt off. We'll see. So let's circle around to Boris. Boris also has 2 endeavors. What would Boris like to do?
Well, Boris is hunting a very specific type of prey at the moment. So he will be actually going to the Garden of Moor, the place that saw the vampire, and he's going to be working with the priests and reading some books because he's going to be also doing study law for trying to learn about the undead. So enemy law undead is what he's trying to learn.
Okay.
And he's going to use both of his endeavors to do this because he's only got recall too, so this probably isn't going to go well.
All right. Let's see.
I'll just roll them all at once.
Well, do one separate because your recall may go up to 3.
Oh,
and
valid
then your
point.
second one would be better.
It doesn't. It does not. I've passed.
So you have one success against a 4, and you get 2 tick marks against your recall.
Yeah, and then the second roll, got a second success, and I finished doing it, so my recall goes up to 3, and I'm 2 pips through doing my endeavor.
So we find Boris spending most of his time in the Garden of Moor, and they've also given you some scriptures and manuals that do not have to stay within the Garden of Moor that you can take with you and study elsewhere. So that brings us back to Erwin and Erwin's final endeavor.
So, I'd like to start doing something to prep for either the wine thing or the art thing. I guess gathering information.
Sure. And what do you want to gather information on?
That was a Tillion, wasn't it, rather than a stallion?
The Contessa.
Yeah, I'd like to gather information on the Contessa.
Okay, how do you want to approach gathering that information?
Asking around because I'm assuming she's been around Talagaad for a little bit.
Yeah, she definitely has.
Okay. Obviously, I'm going to know the who's who in Talagaad, moving in those sorts of circles. So I'm going to basically use my, contacts, friends, drinking buddies, etc.
Okay, so are you thinking a charm test?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So let's go ahead and have that charm test, and then I'll set the scene for you.
Also, anyone in the art world, I'll ask as well.
Okay.
Making use of my commanding presence because I'm acting like a noble should act.
I like it.
Oh, it's D10s, isn't it?
Yes.
That would help. 2 successes.
Okay. You could spend a fate point if you want.
3 successes, sorry.
Okay.
I got charm 4.
Okay, so for 3 successes, you are in a well-appointed dining hall, restaurant, and tavern. And you've been asking around for a while, and you've gotten a little bits of information, that she's a petite woman, always immaculately dressed, dark raven hair, eyes the color of emeralds, perfect skin, the superficial information. But you're in this hall and you're drinking some amasec with some other gallery owner that has heard of your interest, and he's like, oh yes, yes, Antoinette, she has an incredible eye for art, and her collection is amazing. If you're ever invited to her villa, simply amazing. And yes, her gallery opening is going to be quite spectacular. What would you like to know about? Oh, you've been invited, is that it?
I have. I would like to learn more about her particular favour of art.
Oh, well, she has an interest in the macabre, you might say. There was several artists who were prolific during the Vampire Wars, and they painted Gothic scenes, and I believe this gallery opening is presenting several pieces from that era to tell a story of sorts. And then you see he just kind of clams up. He's like, oh, how gauche of me to speak of this. I will, but it was good to see you, Lord Fjorbach. And he gets up and he walks away, and you feel a hand on your shoulder.
I will look to see who the hand belongs to.
You see a very tall woman, probably close to 6 feet tall, dressed beautifully with auburn hair done up in a very elaborate coif, with pale, cornflower blue eyes, and she's smiling at you. She goes, "My lord, did I overhear that you are asking about the dear Contessa Antoinette Ledeska?"
I'll stand up, greet her formally. Yes, you did, and you are?
I'm the Lady Isabel. The Contessa and I are old acquaintances. She looks no more than 20, 21 maybe. I mean, she's old acquaintances must be a stretch.
Okay, please have a seat.
Why, thank you. They're too kind. But I didn't want you to get any misinformation about the Contessa, and that boar there has never even been invited to one of our galleries. So let me straighten you out. Set the record straight. She places one hand on top of your hand and gives it a light squeeze.
Does her hand feel cold?
No.
God. Okay.
I mean, it's in a glove, but it's a very thin glove, silk glove. But no.
Okay, that's always a good start. Yeah.
So what is it that you wanted to know?
I'd like to know more about her art.
Well, she has vast interests, just sculptures and what, but that pompous ass was correct in the fact that the gallery opening that you've been invited to is a series of Gothic paintings and sketches and a few small statues from the period during the Vampire Wars, primarily of imperial artists at the time, though there are some very interesting Kislevite pieces that are also going to be on display. Now, the Contessa does not own all of these pieces, but she has put together this show to introduce Talagaad to a piece of their history that perhaps some have forgotten.
Sounds fascinating.
Well, the Feuerbachs were great heroes during the Vampire Wars, is my understanding. So perhaps that is why she invited you, so that you could appreciate your noble lineage and the efforts they took to protect the commoners.
Well, it's always an honor to represent my family. It's such a nice occasion.
You are just the delightful gentleman that I assumed you would be. She is just going to eat you up. We are
Internal
always looking.
monologue. I need an adult.
We're always looking to make friends among the nobility. The Contessa has so few friends among the imperial nobility. And, well, you Feuerbachs are such lusty men. It would be good to see someone of your line at the gallery. Who knows, perhaps there'll be a future in this for you. The gallery is always looking for patrons.
You never know.
Well, dear, I've got things I must do, places I must go, and people I must attend to. You see her sort of look at the guy that was talking to you. I cannot wait to see you again at the gallery opening.
It was a pleasure.
Indeed. And she walks away. So
Right.
I think I've given you a fair amount of information to chew on.
Yeah, I was going to say, am I allowed to start reading up on that period? Not for like law knowledge, just enough that I can black my way through it.
Absolutely. And now that she says that, you actually do know that there are some actual pieces, art pieces from that era in your uncle's home. Like you could return there, and you know his library is fairly extensive, so he probably has works on the Vampire Wars.
Okay, so all right, yeah, I'll probably head back there.
Excellent. So I think what we find is as Boris knocks on the door to a tavern, inside we hear Nine Toes mutter to someone, "Stay, go see who that is. And if it's anybody who looks sick and they got boils on their face, you turn them away or knock them out. I'm not having none of that plague in here."
I'll go and answer the door, and I'll head off towards the front door and undo all the bolts. It is in a rough area after all.
That is true.
And
the door
open
creaks
the door
open.
a little crack.
You see a large man with long white hair and a well-kept plaited beard, with a bear skin on, staring back at you.
Can I help you?
Are you Snake?
Depends who's asking.
I am asking.
And you are?
I am Boris.
Of course. Kislevite? Gentleman by any chance?
Very astute.
Ah. Well, Boris, this late at night and in such a pox-ridden city, you better come in, hadn't you? Oh, my voice went there, didn't it?
And you see him sort of like, again, as early as we saw in the scenes, he kind of like has to maneuver through a small door frame.
Well, yes, I mean, come in. What do you wish to see us about? It's very unusual to, I mean, you know, the tavern is closed after all.
He sort of looks round you to the person he assumes is the barkeep, the small halfling, goes, "Large ale," and goes back to Snake. "I seek you."
Right. Well, for a fight?
No, no. Oh,
Thank
sorry.
God for that. I'm not really I'm not really up to it right now.
He holds the hand up, and the hand is like the size of your face, and he goes, "I would crush skull with my hand."
Yeah.
No.
We'd see about that.
I
reckon
like
I could
you.
lift my weight.
You see in his other hand a humongous and he goes, "No, I do not come to fight. You have problem, and I am here to assist."
Okay. Which problem could you be talking about?
A problem of the
Tell me.
undead kind.
Oh, that problem. Yes. That's a sort of problem that belongs to all of my current, shall we call them colleagues?
The other high elf and humans.
That's right. Yes, a brother high elf and a noble and a lady of the woods, a sort of banditry kind of person. But how do you think you'd be able to help us?
I am priest of Ursun, and I hunt the vampire.
Ah, I see. So, how did you know it was a vampire?
Because I have friends in city who contact me and tell me that the vampire I seek could be here. He has traveled far. He did much damage and harm in Kislev. And Father Bear has sent me a vision that I must destroy this vampire.
I see. So it's a religious matter. Oh, okay. Well, with Johnny, is it all right if we get this gentleman a room for the night, or maybe he can bed down in the common room or something?
As long as you're paying, Snake, I don't care. You can bed down in a room. There's nobody else staying here, so I might as well make some coin.
Yeah, I thought that might be the answer.
Boris gets out a silver and flicks it towards the halfling.
He
Ooh.
catches it, bites it.
Make sure
Uh,
ale comes too.
Who?
Ale.
What?
Drink.
Ale, of course. Yeah, for a silver, you're good. You're good
Yeah.
for several days. You don't.
Yeah, at
Whatever
least
you
a
want.
week. At least a week, eh, Johnny?
No, Snake. Several days. Several days, Snake.
Yeah.
Do
yeah.
not take money out of my pocket, Snake.
Yeah.
Worry not, little man. I will
Short
pay you
arms,
much if I need to.
short arms,
Well,
deep pockets.
I like your new
Johnny.
friend. I like your new friend, Snake. I like him almost as much as the dwarf who beat the bear snot out of you a few days ago, because that was funny. I made a lot of money that day, Snake.
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it?
Because you know what? I did not bet on you, and nobody else did either.
You fought dwarf.
Johnny.
That seems foolish.
Yeah, well, he paid money. He beat me to a pulp.
That seems like the imagined outcome of that fight, yes.
Well,
Dwarfs are stout, elves are twiggy.
yeah, well, you've gone back down that line again, haven't you? But we'll soon see. We'll soon see,
And he
Boris.
gives you a very firm slap on the back. I like you.
Ow. Thanks. Kidneys. Oh dear. So, well, I tell you what, Boris, what we will do is let me introduce you to the others in the group. And we'll see, you can join us in the hunt if you like. I'm not sure that we've been asked to hunt it, but I think the fact is that it is hunting us. So we will probably have to preempt whatever it's going to do, won't we?
You are marked by it.
Yeah, I think that's as good a phrase as any.
Excellent. You will be bait.
Well, you know what? That's normal for me. Funnily enough, there is something you can help me with. I've got to let's how do we put this? Get something from a troll. So why don't you show me just how tough you are and come and help us sort this troll out?
I am Boris the Bear. I have traveled Troll country many times. Trolls
Ah.
are always in Kislev.
There you go then. So you'll be well used to sorting trolls out and you'll be able to help us. And then that way you will show your mettle and you will appreciate the rest of the group will appreciate your skills. I can already see that you are a man of steel. So, but they will need to see that too.
Elf, your manipulations are puny, but I will help you anyway, for trolls must be destroyed.
But we have plenty of ale. So let's drink on it, Boris.
That sounds good. And
So,
does Nine Tails? Then Nine Tails come back with like a jug of ale and then cups as well.
oh yeah.
He picks up the jug and just starts chugging the jug. This is fine ale. More.
So we
You can see it like running down his beard and like.
So Boris and Snake are slowly getting drunk at the bar, and we fade out of that scene, and we find Erwin coming back to his estate late in the afternoon. Give me an awareness check.
Oops. Oh, 2 successes.
Okay. So as you're leaving the market district, you're passing by some alleys, and you happen to glance over, and along one of the alleyways, you see a figure hunched over in a monk's habit. You can't really see anything of them, but they have a censer in one hand, and they're waving it, and a green mist is coming out of it. They make their way towards the end of the alley. and then you hear the grating noise. You think of a sewer entrance being shifted, and then they disappear.
Of course, there's bloody Skaven. Not that Erwin knows that.
And I think as the pox burns through Talagaad, and our party is hunted by a vampire, and they still have a troll hunt to undertake.
And now a
We'll-
beastman hunt.
And a beastman hunt. We'll call it there a little early tonight, so that next week we'll come back. We'll go through Dan, the other Dan's endeavors and his scene. We'll see how he ties into everything that's been going on here. Then we'll look into a troll hunt, and then it'll be up to our adventurers to decide: are they going to hunt beastmen? Are they going to investigate the weird goings on in the sewers? Or are they going to deal with a potential vampire menace? And Erwin will go to a party. And that'll all be hopefully next week. So thank you everybody for watching. If you're watching live, if you're watching later on YouTube, thank you very much for watching there. If you're watching on YouTube, check us out live on Discord. And obviously, if you're watching on Discord, you should go watch this again on YouTube. It'll definitely be worth it. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a comment. Even a bad comment helps get it pushed out to more people, and I always appreciate it. And if you have given comments in the past or looked at it on YouTube, you'll see that I pretty much respond to everybody's comments. So if you've got questions or concerns or think that I'm just screwing this up horribly, throw a comment down there and I will happily address it. I'm really enjoying this campaign. I think everybody's having a good time with it. But if this is not enough Garblag games for you, and it should not be enough because Garblag games is incredible, you can also check us out on Monday, where Andy is a handler for his Delta Green campaign, The Sign of Judgment. It's fantastic stuff. You should definitely check it out. And if you're not sick of me, which is once again hard to imagine that you wouldn't be, but you can check me out on the Lollygaggers this Friday, the Adventures in Lollygagging Twitch TV channel, at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so in the absolute middle of the night in Great Britain. I'll be running some more of Monolith's Conan, fantastic rules light sword and sorcery game. And then not this Saturday, but next Saturday, if you go over to Tales of Myth and Mayhem at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or that is 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 9 p.m. in Great Britain, you can see us play some more Cult Divinity Lost as we are behind the veil, slowly going insane as we go through the Atrocities exhibition. So check us out, doing all of those fun things. And if you still can't get enough of us, come join our Discord if you're not already there. Garblags Gartopia. We're all on there all the time talking about games and movies and books, etc. So we would welcome you there into our community. Other than that, I'm going to say good night, have fun, see you next week for the end of our downtime.